Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Agentic CMO, where myself, Dave Lehman from Birdeye, talk to people in the world of marketing, especially location-based marketing, and talk about how they are driving the world of AI and agentic marketing. So today I am thrilled to be joined with Michael from Sun Auto. Michael, welcome. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Yeah, you want to give the people a little bit of a background on yourself and the company?
Sure. Right now, I'm the Chief Revenue and Strategy Officer for Sun Auto Tire and Service. We're a sort of a roll-up of tire and service stores across the U.S. We're primarily in the Midwest and West regions, and we're about 600 locations at this point. You know, for us, some of our challenges, we're always acquiring, and we've got a number of brands, 30 plus, that we have to manage across those 600 locations.
Wow, yeah, it's a lot. So a lot going on in the world of AI. New models coming out every day. Google's changing things every day. Google Maps just changed everything that they were doing. What are you guys in your business seeing on the consumer side? Is there a change in behavior? Is there new places you need to keep an eye out or engage with customers?
Yeah, I mean, I think the way they look for you is different today than it was even a year or two ago, right?
Yep.
So I think everything's more conversation based. So we really got to figure out how we're going to play in that area. And then just overall, I mean, I think everything from a digital standpoint is just changing, at speed of light, and just trying to keep up with that and understand where our customers are at, how we maybe need to change something to match Google's algorithms. It's a challenge. You got to be on top of things.
Yeah, it's a lot of changes there. How about internally? Like, what are you guys doing with AI tools? Are you guys building some of your own? Are you guys what's that look like?
Yeah, we've got because I have technology as well, so we're trying to centralize that through the technology team. We sort of play the role of governor in terms of all of our AI initiatives, but really look at it like from three directions, I would say. One, it's like just trying to get people introduced to the concept of using AI, whether that's Copilot, whether that's Claude, whether that's ChatGPT. For us, we've got a number of people on Copilot, and then we're trying out some stuff with Claude. But it's not just a way to search, right? You got to teach people how to use it, how to prompt it appropriately, how to set it up behind the scenes. So that's one path we're going down, and we've got a number of users that are going that way. The second path is really just trying to understand our current players, Birdeye being one of them. What are our systems that we already have in place doing and using, and have they added any features and functionality? And that's probably our quickest win and quickest path to success, is to sort of leverage off of those relationships that we already have. Typically, those types of things are usually taking away, work from users and allowing them to be more efficient. We like to look at AI as an amplifier. We're trying not to scare anybody. It's like, hey, no, there's going to be roles. And really what we're trying to do is just amplify you so you can focus on the things that are strategic, business oriented, versus the, monotonous task or getting things summarized, getting a point of view.
So you're not saying, hey, half of you are losing your jobs or...
No, we want to look at it as scale. We're constantly growing. So what we hope is we could hold the line relative to, the SG&A that we have,
right? And
that as we grow, we don't have to add more heads. That would be the ideal situation. Then I think the third thing we're looking to do is just what other players are out there in the market. Just trying to understand, are there certain niche things, like we're looking at something in legal right now for them to be able to improve their situation. So what are these other niche applications that we might want to add to our portfolio as we go forward?
Yeah. Any big wins internally where you've seen, seen the multiplying effect?
Yeah, for us, I would say one of our biggest wins has been on the telephony side. We've done a lot trying to understand all of our call volume, identify opportunities where maybe, we made a promise to the customer, we didn't keep it, or what are the hot terms that are coming through all of our calls on a day-to-day basis. So we've done a lot there. We're recording those calls, being able to analyze them all and get a lot of feedback there. Our goal is not to miss any call, make sure we take advantage of every opportunity we can in today's environment.
Yeah, not easy when you're here, you got individual brands, individual regions, individual locations that are all
and also
operating a little
all
different.
At different maturity levels as well,
right?
Considering when we bought them, they could still be acclimating. So, we've done some other things. We put it sounds simple, but we've got a chat bot in our for all of our field operators to be able to use. We have all of our core content in there. And when you're a new store and you haven't, had the opportunity to be with us for a while, you've gone through your training, but maybe the trainer left, you can ask the chatbot anything, and it'll give you step-by-step directions.
We call this the agentic CMO, but it feels like that role gets pieced together in a lot of different ways, and people owning marketing, yes, but it seems like a bigger opportunity for people to be business builders and business owners. Like, that wasn't your traditional path either, right?
No, I'm not the CMO. I was never the CMO, but I came up through technology, was the CIO, then had some other technology roles, but the world changed and you've got to be business oriented now, understand the strategy and what's happening. And really just over my 4 to 5 years here at Sun Auto, sort of moved from that CIO, CTO role, still kept technology, and moved into a chief revenue and strategy role. And I worked very closely with our CMO and what he's doing, as well as our COO. And I think what you're seeing in today's world is everybody's caught the buzz, they're hearing about it. Everybody has interest and wants to know, how can we deploy this? But you got to look at it strategically. You got to have everybody on board. Last thing you want to have happening in this environment is have everybody off and running in their own silos, trying to do their own AI initiatives.
It's funny. It seems like, and we see this internally as well. You've got the technology people who've got to get better at the business side of it. And then you've got the business people who need to get better at the technology side because they can't, because it's easier. It's there for them to take advantage of.
Yeah, not everybody has to come from an engineering background, computer science, to be able to understand technology now. And that's what's changed. And that's a big, I would say, leveled the playing field if you look out there in any type of roll-up industry, where you would look at the moms and pops in a smaller stores, you'd say, hey, maybe we have a competitive advantage over there because of the tools we can buy and the back engine we have and all those things. But now, with AI, anybody can be an expert, right? There's new solutions being developed every single day, or they can leverage AI in a way, the same way at a single store or 2 or 3 stores that a large enterprise can. So in many ways, it gives them the opportunity to compete.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So we introduced you, and you've seen over the last couple months some new products coming out from Birdeye. Things like Search AI for AEO and GEO, marketing automation to connect all those touch points and help on the conversion side, and then all these new agents on how do you sort of scale and do that. Reactions, thoughts on some of these newer releases?
I'm pretty excited about it. I knew of a few things. I didn't know everything. So some of them caught me a little off guard, but it's absolutely where we want to be. And, when I talked about what our strategy is, and that number 2 bucket was, hey, leveraging our existing partners, right? We already got it tied in. How do we start to expand that surface area of coverage? And, a couple of those things in particular, I think everybody realizes that AI search is a play, and you've got to understand it and you've got to do things, but you're also trying to keep up with everything else that's going on in digital.
Right.
Seeing that you guys have got a tool now that's going to sort of do that analysis for us, be able to tell us where we sit, where we stand, make recommendations. And then the other piece that I think is, super important to have as part of your suite that just makes sense with your target audience, is from the, marketing list, the email and all that. I mean, I mentioned earlier, we're multi-brand.
Yeah.
And, trying to do that across 30, 40 brands, one piece of content for somebody could take, half hour, an hour to do, right? You're talking a whole work week when you want to go ahead and move. And we've got to pivot. That needs to become an opportunity that you can manage all these different brands in this way and allow our people to be more efficient. And that's what you guys are doing by being able to understand our brands, the personas, and then offer up that content that then we can go ahead and leverage. So we're maybe giving you instruction once instead of 32 times.
Yeah, I mean, you start getting all the touch points on a customer into one platform. Obviously, you got the reviews and things like surveys, but you start taking in, all the marketing touches across email and text, and all of a sudden you're building up this pretty powerful persona that you can personalized for much better, right? And especially, like you said, with multiple brands and locations, the way you talk to that person is going to be very different than the next person coming in the door.
It's not just the brands, it's local, it's at that store, it's even down to the individual customer, which is, you know, the data that you guys are taking a look at. And I just think it's, you know, it's really important to be able to have that efficiency. Everybody's expected to do more with less now. That's just the way the world's going to be. If I look at the size of departments I had 10, 15 years ago, it's a fraction of what it is now, but that's the new world. It's a you know, efficiency-based world, AI-based world, and it's a leverage your partner world.
Yeah, great. The speaking of which, sort of improving the efficiencies internally, we showed you some of these agents that, you know, go from, hey, I've got to respond to my reviews, or I got to do my own social post, to, you know, I got to create a ticket and get somebody working on this, to the agents doing this for you. What was sort of the thoughts there? And is it too early? Are you guys ready for it? Is it needed?
I think we've done some things like that. It'll be great to have it in a tool versus a separate app, custom built thing. But I don't know that we're ready to 100% let everything rip. I think we absolutely want to have maybe a little man in the middle, at least initially, to see how things look, do that review. But I think you build those successes over time, and you get that confidence level where you feel good about what's coming out. I mean, all in on the agents to do those things. They're not necessarily the strategic tasks that I need someone working on, right? If we've already set the vision, we have the brand, we know how I want to speak to these people, just let it rip.
Yeah. Yeah. I think what we've seen is, I thought there was going to be a ton of resistance. Got to have a human in the loop on everything, you know, and okay, that creates a bit of efficiency still. It like pre-writes the stuff for you and all the rest. I've been surprised at how much people are just like, let it go. You know, we've got a big customer who, you know, does a lot of taxes, and during tax season, they're busy, you know, filling out, tax forms for their customers. And they usually hire a bunch of people to go respond to these reviews in that time. They just let it rip, and it's seen huge success, and felt like they could train the AI better than they could train the temporary workers coming in a way.
I think that's a big thing. It's tough to hold on to the employees today. There's a lot of people, you know, switching between jobs, and you know, if you've got something that you've already invested in, you know, and trained them up, that's great. But you lose them. AI, you train it once, maybe give it a few pointers along the way, and you know, you don't have that same problem.
Yeah, I think the other side is the opportunity to sort of connect a bunch of teams that work in silos. If the agents can create tickets, can set up the right dashboards to track, you know, that the loop is being closed on some of these things that are being identified, I think that's a huge leverage as well.
Yeah, I think, like, you know, the things we were talking about today, where it's like, okay, you make the decision, but you close the loop by it's gonna do the analysis 30 days, 45 days, 60 days from now to say how good was that decision, right?
Yeah.
And that's oftentimes the piece that gets lost in the shuffle. You're busy, you've gone on to next, and you really haven't maybe gone back and revisited everything. So it'll be nice to know that's taken care of.
The people in the stores have a lot of work to do, right? They're so busy, and then it's
too much,
right? And throw another thing on them? No, but if you can do it in the right way, it can really.
As much as we could take off of our store managers right now, that's the mission we're on. You know, we're trying to look to things that we can either automate or bring back centrally more efficiently, and just give them the opportunity to do what they do great, which is serve the customer.
Well, so like you said, I've never been a CMO. I'm not, but today I am giving you the honorary title
Thank you.
Of Agentic CMO, because you obviously get it. You understand what's going on. You understand how there's an opportunity to really drive business if things are done the right way. So to those other people who run marketing or partner closely with marketing out there that are looking to be agentic and lean forward into this world, what advice do you have for them? What should they be doing?
I'll put on both hats. My first hat, let's just say it's a strategy and the revenue side, is have your use cases, test and learn. Don't be scared, right? And people try to go after this grand thing, and that just ends up building upon itself, taking too long. Pick something very specific, a use case you know you can measure, that you can go after, that you can go ahead and prove out. And then I'll go back and put my CIO hat on, and please involve IT. Let them be at the table with you. You might not know what's already out there in terms of what's being used across your company. And we always want to make sure things are safe and secure.
Awesome. Well, Michael, thank you for joining us today.
Yes.
This was great. And thank you for joining us on another edition of the Agentic CMO. And we'll see you next time.